everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in the Four Keeps, Origin, Part 1. Today is June 14th, 2021, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, including full playthroughs of Curse of Strahd, Ghost of Saltmarsh, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Tomb of Annihilation, Tyrant Security, and starting this week, we will also be adding our Masks the Green Sun campaign to that list of completed campaigns as well. So look forward to that. You can also find us anywhere audiocasts are made available for free. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, you can feel free to join us once again at patreon.com/indooradventures. But if you already support us on Twitch, you already support us on Patreon and YouTube and all of those other wonderful places, and that was terrifying. Something just unplugged and replugged itself back in, so I hope that nothing changes. You can find us at indooradventure.redbubble.com. We got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, more merch that's on the way. And we also have Tia masks. That's right, we have masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201, where all of the proceeds end up going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support the show, or possibly help support a good cause, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey RJ, who you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. Today I'll be playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard. We're both he/him.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp, and I'm going to be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter.
Hoi, I play Arjhan, the Illyrian Draconian Dragonborn Ranger and Cleric who uses he/him pronouns. I'm Cyber. Happy Pride, everybody. I'm asexual, but still more of a hero than Batman, apparently. And I use he or any pronouns.
Hey everybody, I'm
You know
Wayne.
what?
No, go on.
No.
That's some
They're right.
Nights in the Courtyard. Let's do that.
Okay. Hi everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing as Cori the Elegant Paladin, who uses she, they, and he pronouns. That's the end of my spiel.
And I am the indoor adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your dungeon master. Just before we even get into it, Connor, this new debate has given a whole new meaning to not all heroes wear capes. I'm just saying. So. So, last we left off, you guys had been going up against the forces of Kyuss once again, a worm-like entity, and when we say worm-like, we mean an entity comprised entirely of worms that had decided that they were going to begin a point of invasion out of the floating city of Vaskor. It was late in the evening, and you had all seen a beam of red energy jutting up from the center of the floating city directly to the moon itself. At this point, you prayed for Tiamat's aid, and the dragon goddess answered, offering you the boon of a shadow dragon as a means of transport, allowing all of you to make your way out to the city itself. When you arrived, it had appeared that all hell had broken loose. But as the dragon landed, Caelum, with a quick fly spell on you and your friends, as well as the ability that Arjhan has to fly with his big old dang wingies, you were all able to just directly bypass the lower city and go up to the top level, where you once again encountered Kyuss, or at least an aspect thereof. It was at that point that Caelum turned into a giant sperm whale in the middle of the fight, and using a big old whale tail, decided to slap down on a big magic gemmy. A magic gemmy that Gwen proceeded to assist in destroying, as well as Cori lending the aid with a few handed lightning bolts. Together, the three of you were able to shatter this magic gemmy that was responsible for a portal to the unknown. However, this large gemmy was helping keep the floating city afloat, which was kind of important for the city itself, as the city that you were on, this floating aspect, began to fall directly down to the lower city itself. Escaping, again, through some handy flying maneuvers, you four were able to escape, putting a stop to Kyuss's invasion, but as you looked down, you saw that the city was in ruins. You then spent the better part of the evening making sure that that you were able to find the civilians that you could, and you found out a little bit more about Vascor's defense mechanisms and how they attempted to fight off Kyuss to some avail, using demons and devils to kind of assist them in the whole process. But again, it kind of worked, mostly in part thanks to you all. At that point, you decided, or were debating whether or not you needed to track down any of the remaining Mythalars, if there were any, or if there were still the forces of Kyuss still in the countryside. When you contacted Alindra Stonemantle, Archmage of Aldera, and as she teleported over, meeting you at the Mage College, you asked if she could redo her spell, the one that she had previously done to track Kyuss, a kind of augmented mind spike. A spell typically used to track one individual, but as Kyuss is of one mind but many bodies, the spell does indeed work slightly differently. And that is where we were picking up, with her using this augmented mind spike that involved a hammer, a nail, and a locket in which you encased a worm of Kyuss. As she nails through this locket with the hammer, blood begins to drip down onto a map of the countryside. And as it splatters down, you can see that the blood doesn't go to most any of the places that you had seen it previously. Before, the kind of danger areas were Shroudport, and that was mostly as the remains of the worm-like entities that you had not slain. Thankfully, the blood does not go to Shroudport. Previously, there had been blood near the Dragon Forge. It does not go there. It does not go to the Hollowed Locks. It just seems to kind of still be on the city of Vascor itself. However, you can see that there is not as much here. So from what Alindra is able to divine, it looks like Kyuss, for the most part, is not really on this countryside anymore.
Great.
So is that it?
For the time being, I guess. Archmage.
Should we check?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, should we check on Alira? Nope.
A
Hold
Rask?
on. Nope.
Not a Rask.
Moon Lady.
Illustrate.
Stray?
Saloon.
Elistray. Wasn't she supposed to stop this from getting here?
My guess is that whatever Kyuss did to the missile made a back door. Can't potentially stop that.
Maybe
I
we should
can-
get.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
still probably figure out what happened to the moon, though.
Yeah, I could talk to Olivia tomorrow. Arjhan, one of the students here, told me that the mages had fashioned some sort of mechanical creature that would have helped combat Kyuss. Would you mind taking a look at that?
I could, yeah.
And I'll give him the location that was told to me.
I guess before I go any further, do any of you know how defensible this place is against fiendish forces? If I try to get my devil artificer in here, is she going to be violently expelled?
Sorry, that had different connotations. I could ask around.
The two high-ranking mages that you have next to you, being Alindra and the Grand Archivist Skoviskin. Alindra sort of looks at this Warforged that is next to her, and the Warforged sort of like makes a harumph style noise and sort of like clacks his staff onto the ground next to you and says, "We don't really have many wards for demons and devils alike. They are useful in times of need should they stay under control. If you have contacts in the hells or the abyss, just please be understanding of the situation. You said
Of course.
they are an artificer.
Yes.
Then I see no issue bringing them here."
All right. And I will go to where I've been directed, to this mechanical creature.
Okay. It is going to be found in Lower City and will take you about 15 minutes to get to. And when you arrive at the Silver Ossuary, it is at this point what looks kind of like a ruined temple. A lot of things have fallen on this, but surprisingly, the building stays in relatively good standing. There are obviously like broken spires, pieces of the ceiling have kind of been cracked in. But looking at this, I would say that you don't even need to make a religion check to identify what temple this was to. This was a temple to Gond at one point, who is one of the primary gods of crafting, as well as artifice. You've seen this symbol before in places like Surt's Hellier, as well as even during your Blood Hunter training. There were some individuals that would give praise to Gond for things like crossbows or alchemical potions. While not the god of potions himself necessarily, still a god of invention and inspiration. So there is some praise had. But getting to this place and looking around, Arjhan, immediately you notice that there is a concentration of Warforged here, but many seem out of commission. This almost seems like it was more of a museum than it was a tactical base of sorts. And as you are looking around, I would like for you to make an investigation check.
Natural 20 for 20.
That's great. That is fantastic. So as you're looking around, you start noticing that parts of this building should have fallen, but they did not. It looks like against all odds, through like the crashing of debris from above, this building stayed in almost like it was protecting something that was held beneath. And as you are looking around, you see that against the back wall, behind one of these walls that has come crumbling down, what looks like a large metallic, it's almost like a sheet of metal with a curve to it. And beyond all reason, it looks like a kneecap. And as you stare at this large steel kneecap, you begin to kind of follow it, and you see now that this building, this ossuary, was actually built around a creature of gargantuan size, a massive mechanical construct that was hidden in plain sight. You are guessing, based off of the overall design, that it does have a humanoid shape, and it does indeed look like it would be a rather large force in the fight against Kyuss.
Interesting. And is this just like buried under here?
Not necessarily. It is now partially buried, I would say, but more so it has been revealed. It looks like before it was actually, again, built into the side walls of this building, and as the building sort of fell apart around it, there is now just this gargantuan-looking metallic creature that is dormant. It does not seem to have any power within it, but it is sort of like kneeling over, arms extended down, almost prostrated so, creating a barrier for the inner ossuary, for this inner temple.
Is there anybody else around, or is Arjhan alone here?
I would say at this point you are alone. You see that there are some old like prototype Warforged for the Silvered Legion. They look rusted and non-active, but they seem dormant as well. They do not seem active. So as far as awake living creatures, yes, you are the only one.
Lord of Invention, I hope you forgive this transgression, but our need is far greater. Bridget, are you available?
What accent did she have again?
Hi, I'm Bridget.
Sure thing, boss.
Do you have a way to get to my location?
I could probably pull a few strings. God, I don't even know what the transfer rate would be like in terms of time, but see you in a jiff. That still translate?
Yeah.
And within about 5 minutes or so, there is this, like, crackling black hole that seems to emerge that billows out a sulfurous smell with heat, and then just walking through very proudly, but wearing, like, this almost mechanical harness around her chest, Bridget struts through. Just, oh, hey, boss, what did you need me to... Whoa, this place is cool. I mean, aside from all the rubble, like, is this abandoned? Where are your friends?
They are checking in on the situation. This is Vasco, and I'll explain what had just happened.
Oh, that sounds super bad.
I've been sent to check in on this, which we hope will be in some sort of usable state in the near future.
She kind of like points up and like at the like overall layout of this mechanical construct. You want me to take a look at? I could. I mean,
just to get
if you really want me to,
just to get a good sense of like what the effort would be involved in getting it up and running again.
And you can see that like one of her like toe claws is just sort of like clicking against the ground in a very anticipatory kind of demeanor. And as you say, okay, like let's kind of look, she like flaps her wings a little bit and then just begins just immediately like kind of like putting her hands all over this, looking around, seeing what this is. And just, Stone Panel Foundation, we've been building a lot of crazy shit ever since that, ever since Kat brought back that weird hell engine. It's been wild, but I've never seen something this big before. Like the fact that all those like mortal folk ended up building this is kudos to them. Like big shout out. This thing is massive. And she just begins to pull out like sets of artificer tools and just begins inspecting this. After about 15 minutes or so, she will eventually say, well, I think I found what the problem is as to why it's not turning on. It looks like you need a key of some sort. Like there's like an ignition mechanism to actually activate this thing. I could try and jiggle something in there and hope that it happens and that it fires on. But as far as being able to control it, I'm not sure exactly that I'd be able to do just that immediately.
So, as far as you know, there's no actual damage. It's just that we don't have the proper access to it.
Well, yeah, it seems like, all things considered, like the only reason this building's still standing is because this guy, if he stands up, maybe, I don't know, like there's a lot of stuff in here that you'd probably want to like move out of the way first before you get him to like get all scary. But as far as doing much of anything, I think it's fine. Like there are some brakes on it. Like you could definitely use some repairs, and I know a good repair team, a good pit crew for something like this. If you need us to, I've been loving working on the mechanical tyrant. Don't get me wrong, but like a pet project's always nice.
I would need to check in with the actual owners of this vehicle.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. That checks. If you gave it a flamethrower, like some kind of sword, it'd be really cool. But that's just throwing it out there.
Well, I appreciate you looking into it. I will get back to you if your services are needed for this.
Of course. Just let me know. Always on hand. Until then, if there's anything that you need, just let me know. And she will give you a bow, and as she does, she puts her hand against like the contraption that she had over her chest, and you see her press this large button that was on the center. And as she presses that button, she's enveloped in that kind of in like those hellish flames that you've seen before, that scent of sulfur, and she is gone.
Arjhan is going to go back to the entrance of the temple, and on a desk he's going to just like fiddle around with a little box, push it up to his head, or to his face, and speak into it and say, "Will the owner of the Warforged Colossus please come to the front desk?" And that's my scene.
Okay. Then back in the Mages College. Arjhan has just departed. So Cori, you, Gwen, and Caelum are all still here. Alindria has shown that there does not seem to be any presence of Kyuss here on the actual like country itself. Whether or not that is true for the rest of the countries remains to be seen, but your local Kyuss outbreak seems to have been satiated for the most part, ceased.
Archmage Stonemantle and Archmage didn't quite get your name.
And like the Grand Archivist sort of like starts like not knowing how to respond. Just oh he's not an Archmage. Don't be ridiculous. He's just our head librarian, and I am more than a librarian. I have managed the systems here for hundreds of years. Yes, I'm sure you have. It's been very
Archmage
helpful.
Stonemantle and Grand Archivist, I need your counsel on something.
Well, it's not like I seem to be going anyplace anytime soon.
Caelum drops Corvain's notes onto the table, specifically the Soul Severance spell.
And Alindra like gets this very shocked look, and the Grand Archivist also just. I have not seen parchment dated in such a fashion for quite some time. Where did you get this? Yes, where did you get this? Also, where did you get your robe? You weren't wearing that the last time I saw you.
Both of these items predate the Sundering.
And, like, if a Warforged could look surprised, I would say that, like, the little, like, mouth hinge that it has, that Skoviskin has, just sort of like hinges down a little bit. My apologies. And he, like, pops his jaw back up.
And I assume that the two of you know how an elven lifeline works through...
Through a cycle of reincarnation, yes.
My last original body was apparently a very high-functioning mage.
Well, that's interesting. Do you know which one?
Corvain Nightfeather?
And the Grand Archivist, surely, preposterous. You can't be serious. I think he is head librarian. Grand Archivist.
Is it the mask? Is it because you can't see how serious I am underneath the mask?
It's not that. It's statistical anomalies are hard to accept based off of fact, but we are practitioners of magic. Statistical anomalies are sort of our playground.
Hi, my name is Caelum. I'm a statistical anomaly.
Hello, Caelum. I am Alindra Stonemantle, but you already knew that.
This spell in particular was lost in the plane of negative energy. I stumbled across it doing some things. I want to know how viable it is.
I suppose I could give it a look over. Just a trip to the negative energy plane? Is this something you do often, Caelum?
Well, with a wish spell, yeah.
And the Grand Archivist begins to kind of sputter a little bit, and Alindra's eyes get wide and just... It's very powerful magic indeed. Everything work out well. I am assuming you had some success in its usage, based off of these notes.
Caelum will lower the front of his mask and just give her a very sad look.
I see. Well, I am sorry. I can start looking over these notes and see if I can offer any further insight to them. If it is from before the Sundering, you don't find documents like that very often now, do you?
He'll lay the rest of Corvain's documentation down. I was only able to get these from his notebook. His notes, at the very least, were scattered. They were burned. It's something.
I may not have the capabilities of dealing with high-level magics as apparently you and the Archmage are capable of performing, but if there's one thing that I am good at, it is tracking down information in the halls of the Anatheum. I can help you with this. I will at least do my best. There's not much I am afraid that I will be able to do otherwise.
All right. Well, thank you, both of you. I think it's time to take a bit of a rest.
I think that would be for the best if you haven't already. And Alindra will look over towards Cori and Gwen when she says this as well.
Caelum's going to separate from the group.
And speaking of Cori and Gwen, what are the two of you doing?
Gwen is going to go out and help, like, clear the city.
Okay.
She feels real bad about what happened, so she is in guilt mode.
That's fair. Getting down to the ground. It's a hell of a drop. If you don't have somebody to take you down. If you wanted to, we could say that Arjhan, like, as he was on his way out, just sort of like dropped you off, like on the lower.
She has her
city.
Thunderstep.
Thunderstep is for how many feet?
That's a good question.
60.
That is a good question. Then is that
Does it affect momentum?
I was going to say Thunderstep is also, you are roughly about like 300 feet
90
above the ground.
Yeah. What I was thinking is Gwen would jump off, and then when she's about 90 feet away, which is what the spell is, she'll Thunderstep down so that she lands on the ground safely.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Does Thunderstep affect momentum?
I would say
it doesn't
yes. It doesn't say
How
you.
you're thinking with portals.
You don't stop. It's not just a boop. Okay, like inside lurching, like you would tumble forward quite significantly.
You probably take a lot less damage just raging and jumping off, honestly.
I mean, I guess that's true.
You could definitely do that.
Goes in. Speedy
Whatever
thing
one I
comes
take
out.
less damage with.
It would be a rage. So, Gwen, if you would like to leap from 350 feet up, and then when you are close to the ground, just like tiny meteor. We can see we can see how much that would do.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. So, thankfully,
I
Gwen
turn
has
into a
resistance.
goldfish.
Yes. What's the worst that could happen? We're gods.
She can do like a superhero landing at the bottom.
Mess up her knees.
It's really bad for your knee, yeah.
So,
I mean, there is a maximum amount of fall damage that you can take in this game, and you have more hit points than that by now.
To a maximum of 20d6.
which, after rolling, does a grand total of 66 damage, and that's before the half.
Dang. Yeah, no, she leaves a little crater, but that only took about a third of what she had left.
What she had left, this is after combat, no rest, and you're like, I could jump 200 plus feet. That seems fine. All in a day. You guys got coffee? Let's do this.
Do I scare the shit out of anybody on the ground?
Yes. Like, you land, and people are like, oh my god, more dead bodies! And they go to, like, investigate, and then just stand aside, citizen, like, dusting yourself off, and, like, they are, like, med mage comes over to you, like, are you okay? Are you injured at all?
I mean, a little, but most of it was from the fight, so.
They are gobsmacked at the fact that they just watched a speck from the sky turn into a person, land in a crater, and then get up and brush it off. But, like, this is a world of high magic fantasy. They're also not really that surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you raged,
where can I help?
yeah, if you raged, you only took like a total of what, 33 points of damage.
33, yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. So yeah, Gwen, after you fall a ludicrous amount of height, you are able to dust off your shoulders and then begin getting back to helping out the people of the town. Gwen, as you are in the process of helping out, it's been maybe about 25 minutes, and you hear a call from somewhere off in the wreckage. It's Arjhan's voice. He's asking for the owner of a Warforged Colossus to come and at least come and pick it up if possible. Seems a little strange, but he has said odd things throughout your entire time knowing him. Never have they usually they don't turn out terrible. So hopefully this is for the best on that one.
Yeah, she'll move over that way.
Okay. Yeah, and Gwen, as you are as you're helping people out, kind of lifting up rubble, that sort of thing, make a perception check for me.
Oh boy. Oh, that's not that bad. 21. Hey.
Okay, so a 21. As you are clearing out more of the rubble from the lower city, There aren't nearly as many people that you would expect to be like trapped under buildings. And it seems like a lot of the things that you're clearing off, like there's no stuff there either. It looks like these were actually like relatively cleaned out before anything fell onto the building. And as you're in the process of kind of cleaning up this wreckage, you overhear from a group of nameless people, like they're like not even colored in the background, like it's just gray outlines of humanoids that are basically saying that when they heard the boom followed by that red beam that was going towards the sky, they just thought, oh, it's typical magic bullshit happening at the Wizards College. They didn't really think too much of it. But it wasn't until they heard the roar coming from outside of the city that others are saying was a dragon that was on its way. That was when they actually like had the, okay, we should probably get the fuck out of this place.
Yeah.
But there's like an air of thanks to the roaring dragon sound, more so than there is like a bit of thanks going towards like the Silvered Legion or the Wizards. Like it seems like the thing that really got these people up and out of their homes in time was dragon sound.
Oh. Yeah, she'll hobble over to Arjhan and just say, you're looking for the owner of a what?
I'll point to the back of the temple.
Yeah, and as you point to the back of the temple, Gwen, you see imagine if there was a humanoid sized properly to like wrestle the giant spiky worm that you fought earlier. Like one of those other gargantuan-sized purple worm styled things, if there was a humanoid that could wrestle. Now imagine if that was made of metal. It is just this large mechanical humanoid-shaped construct that is, again, just sort of like prostrated over the temple that you are currently in. And as you're looking up, you see like one of the columns that is keeping the building up is not really a column at all, as there have been like bits of rubble and like building that have fallen off of the side, but it is instead what looks like a forearm and a massive fist. That would be like 4 or 5 of you, like all bundled together, would make up the size of this fist.
Gee, what? Is that alive? I mean, is that like alive?
It appears to be a construct.
Holy shit.
And one that has been here for quite a while. It does not look like it will be functional without a key, which is why I am very much interested in finding whoever was running this temple museum thing and requisitioning it, if possible.
Yeah, I mean, fuck yeah. Oh, hey, I've been asking around, and it sounds like the dragon really helped to like get people out of town, and that's why there weren't as many casualties. So, thanks to you, Matt.
Thanks to you, Matt.
Gwen, as you say this, the little tyrant security coin that you have that Arjhan has given you, like you feel like a little bit of like a reassuring warmth from it. Which the last time that happened, you got kicked in your chest. So like at the same time, it's like a quick cover, like he didn't see it, did he? It's fine, I'm sure.
I could be thankful. I'm not praising them.
But yeah, so Tiamat seems to respond well to you saying thank you for a thing that she has done.
All right.
Cori, what are you doing?
We're gonna look for the person who owns this, right? That's
Okay.
what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Cori's gonna do as much as she can to help the survivors. And then she's going to... Ooh, Ooh, did I prepare Steed? I did. Okay. She'll summon Ampleforth and give him a message
Okay.
to her father. Do you think that in the time it took for like during the the time break,
Everyone's
he
seen the
could
time
have
break.
he could have finished a particular project, a leggy related project?
Yeah, he could have definitely finished a leggy related project.
Okay. She's gonna send Ampleforth back and basically ask for that. And then she's going to take some time to rest after being confident that people are going to be able to are on the path of recovery. She's going to go commune with nature a little bit, and then I think, like, thoughtfully, she wants to figure out what's going on with the moon. And having no connection to a moon god herself, this is her thought process. It's a shame I don't have a connection to a moon god. And then she realizes, oh shit, Shar is a moon god. And then she starts ruminating on the possibility of accessing resources related to Shar without necessarily asking for permission. She's going to go and meditate for a while and see if she can basically check on the moon without asking Shar herself.
Well, it would be a lot easier if it wasn't daytime.
That's fair. These are the thoughts that she's having as she's wandering about and looking at nature, watching leaves fall from trees and meditating in the way that elves do.
Yeah. Outside of the city, as there is very little in terms of nature left remaining on the inside of the city, unless you have like a plant growth spell or something to like summon forth nature in a spot that you are in.
Well, I am pleased to announce, yes, indeed, I do have something very much like that.
Okay, so yeah, if you would like, you can either create like a mini garden amongst the wreckage of Vascor, or you can go outside of the city walls and see if there's any like nearby big nature that you can just hang out in.
I think a mini garden would actually be welcome here.
Okay, are you doing it like inside of a abandoned building that has like still breaks and stuff in it, or is it just like you found a spot in the rubble that looks good enough for grass?
A building that looks like it could possibly be reclaimed.
Okay. And I would say that very easily, if you use the spell, that is what that
I'll
do.
say she'll go to like a city square of some sort with like a fountain and like statues and such.
Okay.
And basically go to a place where a statue used to be, stand up on the pedestal, and then sit and meditate.
Okay. Yeah, so roll a religion check.
Alrighty. How's about 21?
A 21. So during your ruminations, during the time that you will be spending thinking about this, you know that there effectively, if you already have the ability to do so, if like you already have an ability like in your spell listings, that you would be able to use those abilities without necessarily asking Shar about like, hey buddy, what's the state of the moon right now? Like if you had an ability that already let you do that versus having to ask her, that's one way to do it. Likewise, if you find yourself in a completely illuminated space when you are using her powers, it would be difficult for her to listen in, as it were. But at the same time, being in a completely illuminated place sounds difficult when you're trying to gain ideas about what's happening at a thing that only shows up at night. Things to consider.
She considers this.
Okay. We cut away to Gwen and Arjhan as you were calling out for the owner of a mechanical colossus. You're going to end up meeting an individual that Caelum had actually met previously by the name of Osmond Lamarck, although he prefers to go by Ozzy. Darker skin, nice long, like medium length black hair, more prominent goatee, very kind smile. Looks like his robes are a little bit torn at this point, as he's kind of like he survived the events of the previous day, but he will make his way to you all. And when you are, I would say you guys, the two of you are probably waiting for about like 45 minutes to an hour for somebody to claim ownership of this large mechanical titan. And Osmond will say, when he approaches you,
I am afraid you're going to be waiting for a rather long time. The owner of the key that would start the SL43R, I was with them when the city was falling apart. We were trying to make our way here to actually to turn it on when a piece of debris ended up falling on my instructor, the key holder. And I'm not exactly sure where the key went after that. The mages, we may have made a few mistakes in terms of summoning forth infernals and abyssals to help us in our combat. Some of them turned, and well, it was either try and get the remains of my instructor or possibly be subject to whatever it was that infernals and abyssals tend to do to frail men like me.
Oh shit. Sorry for your loss, dude.
Sorry.
It's at this point not really just my loss. What this creature was, well, SL43R was supposed to do, well, we figured that if there was that giant worm thing that was on the Eltian Foundation in the floating city, and then there was all of the little wormies that were doing what they did down here in the lower city, if we figured the worms couldn't get to the Silvered Legion. There was nothing for them to inhabit. SL43R is one of the original members of the Silvered Legion, one of the early models, a prototype. So we figured if we just had a really, really big one, the Silvered Legion are meant to police mages for the most part. They're built with the ability to combat magics themselves. So that would have also, we thought, helped out against the demons and devils that had gone a little bit awry.
I mean, it was a good plan, but do you... Was the key with you, or with your instructor?
The key was with Kelton.
Like on his body?
Yes.
Where?
All right. Yeah.
Well, I could show you. We did manage to get him out from underneath the rubble, but most of his possessions were already taken.
Oh, shit. Don't you have a thing that can, like, tell you where it is?
Under normal circumstances, there would be a mage who could do that. I specialized in artifice. Locating objects wasn't really my strong suit.
Does anyone else know what it looks like?
There's probably a blueprint somewhere, either in here in the ossuary or in mines or in the instructor's workshop, in Keldon's workshop.
Uh-huh.
And where would those be?
The workshop is still up there, thankfully, so we don't have to go picking through that. Otherwise, and he motions to the ossuary. It might be around here, or at least like a replica or something.
I appreciate it. There is every chance that something like this may happen again soon.
Yeah.
That's very reassuring.
Which is why it is of the utmost importance that we get every defense ready.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna start looking.
Yeah. And Ozzy will lend his aid to. He'll give you aid, Arjhan, so you can roll with advantage.
What are we rolling?
Investigation.
Oh, boy. Hold on.
I'm
wait.
sorry. Hold up. Let me just take a little. Just a little for future reference.
Damn! You should do. Fucking now's the time to buy a lotto ticket. That's 3.
So 2 nat 20s with advantage. So that's extra crit.
Your last investigation roll was also a crit. That's fucking wild. That's crazy, but really cool. Yeah, so it takes Arjhan, like, it takes you no time at all. You know how file systems work. You definitely know, like, the proper etiquette to how things should be put away.
I've worked with a Documancer.
Yes, you've worked with Documancers before. So as you are, I would say it takes maybe, like, again, like 10 minutes tops. Most of that time is, like, looking around, seeing that, okay, these are the files that we need. And then realizing, like, oh, there's a room kind of tucked behind one of the lower leggies of this. Gwen, can you, like, move the rubble out of the way so that way we can access this room? You were able to get in, and very quickly, very efficiently, you are able to actually find the blueprints for the key for SL43R, or as it is known in I want to say Quick Hand.
Slayer.
Yeah, it's just named Slayer on the actual page itself. And it seems like it is a difficult key to make. It's not just like oh yeah, we can do this at like any at the beginning of like any Kroger building, like just stick the key in, copy it real fast. This seems like it will be a process to actually recreate a key unless you are able to find the original. But still having a blueprint of it is close enough that you would know that if you had a means or method of tracking something down, that this would actually be worth, or it would work towards at least like your directions.
Lady got my path. No cast locate object.
Okay.
With my last 2nd level spell.
So locate
If
object,
it is not within 1,000 feet, then it gives me nothing.
The spell lasts for 10 minutes though.
It does.
So I would say you don't get a direct ping, but you definitely get a like arrow pointing off in a direction that's not showing the direct map marker. And you and Gwen together are able to kind of follow along with Osmond tagging along, not wanting to just be left in this place by himself, especially after everything that he's seen. And as you are getting closer to where the pinging is, Gwen, you see some of these weird, like, bipedal vulture creatures, like, again, with, like, just, it looks like stuff. Like, it looks like it's, like, golden cutlery. One has, like, a teapot, and they just sort of, like, look at you and then will fly away, but they always seem to be flying into, like, a particular direction. And as you and Arjhan reach the location, at least near within that 1,000 feet that you know of, you see that it is actually the entrance to an alleyway that is amongst some like crushed and destroyed buildings. And there is a hanging sign that looks like it is only hanging by like one of its metallic hooks at this point that says, "Welcome to Jinsai Alley, the Alley of Possibility." And these winged creatures seem to have, like, they are also, like, bringing their shinies in that general direction. Arjhan, make a history or an arcana check when you see these creatures.
18.
18, you recognize these creatures as Vrox. V-R-O-C-K.
They are demons.
Diamonds.
Should we kill them?
If they're not here by anybody's will, then yes.
All right. Gwen pulls her axe out.
Okay.
I'm looking for my shiny.
Yeah. So if you continue down the alleyway, are you doing so stealthily, or are you just like brazenly walking forward?
We're like I'm with people, so no, we're just going in.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't stealth that well.
Yeah, so you make it down this alleyway and you can see that there were like at least like 30, 40 shops that were all along this alley. There was even like second levels that had been made of wood up above to help supplement a space for more shops, you're guessing, as they all have like little boards that would be able to stick up that vendors could sell goodies out of. But as you get towards the end of this alley, Arjhan, like looking forward, as I'm guessing that you're probably the one leading the way here, you can see that there is a hellish looking creature, almost humanoid in features, that is roughly around 18 feet tall, that is sitting atop a massive pile of gold. And it's not just gold coins, but it is anything gold related. So again, like all of the cutlery that you've seen, all of the accoutrement that is made of this substance is all sort of formed into this mound behind this creature, who has, it looks like, used some ability or another to kind of warp the stone nearest them into a makeshift throne. And from where they sit, they are wearing very fine, like almost like a fine cloth raiment about them. That has a kind of goldish trim to it, but a just dark black inside. And the thing that strikes you the most about this creature isn't the long, sharp nails that seem to extend from each of their fingers, but it is the fact that from their lower jaw up, where their nose would be, directly above their lips, there is just a vacancy. There is a missing piece where you feel like a puzzle piece for a face should sit, and it is just hollowed. And where that cranium would sit, there is this black smoke that seems to be almost trailing out of it, with these twisted ibex horns that seem to come up from the side. And as these rocks come in, the creature extends a hand out, takes this gold, you feel like it is looking at the thing that is in its hand, though it has no eyes. And there is a small tuft of this black smoke, and the creature smiles with what looks like a almost chiseled split from its lower lip down to its chin. And it smiles with these large pointed teeth, and then makes a motion for the creature to leave before it sets it down into the pile behind it.
The fuck is that?
Do I know the fuck is that?
Make an Arcana or a History check.
20.
A 20. You have heard of creatures like this before, but you have never seen one in person. This is what is known as an abhorrent overlord.
What do I know about the aberrant overlords?
They have a sense for gold. If there is one thing that they love, it is golden anything. That is all that they want. They have the ability to even sense its greatest presence within 1,000 feet. And typically they are demons in a sense, but they have more of the sensibility of a devil, almost as if there was a corruption point for infernal creatures, that once they've reached this certain spot, they even give up the part of them that existed as a devil to turn themselves into this apparent overlord. Abhorrent. And as your group enters this end of the alleyway and the creature sets its gold back, it pauses and seems to raise its chin up as if it is smelling something, and you can even see like the curvatures of its upper of its upper lip ridges moving as if it was sniffing with a nose that is not there. And it turns in your direction. Someone has brought an offering.
Totes.
In common?
Yes.
More like we have come for something of yours.
We want to trade.
And at that, you see, when you say we have come for something of yours, there's like a bit of like a stern look. But Gwen, when you say that you have come to trade, its smile creeps up to the corners of its cheeks. And it says, "Interesting. What is it that you wish to trade for? I can sense great value amongst you two. Not so much the one behind. I'm not interested in them. But you, scaled one. You have
Wow,
great
hey,
wealth.
wow.
We would like a key.
A specific key.
I have found many keys in my time here. Perhaps you could describe it for me.
And Ozzy will describe the key, saying that it is almost triangular in shape, multifaceted, has like blue stone veins running through it. And as he continues to kind of describe it, the creature sort of laughs.
I do have one of those in my possession, yes. What do you value it at? It must be important if you are willing to do trade.
I mean, people trade for food all the time, and it's not like they. Anyways, you like gold?
Yes.
Cool. And Gwen goes into her pockets, and she still has her mini pocketed outfit on, and she like goes into 4 different pockets and pulls out 4 gold coins. That is all Gwen has.
And it makes a hand motion like, and?
Oh, she'll like touch her pockets. I have. Oh, I have. Don't I have a bell or something?
I have found more in the rubble than you offer me.
I guess that's fair. I have alcohol. Do you like alcohol?
I care not for these mortal vices.
All right, fair. I have a mystery kit. Could be anything.
I can sense that there is no gold within this.
Oh no, sorry. That was something about. Somebody bought my hair. Do you want some of my hair?
Will you show us this key?
And it levels its hand, and you see a puff of black smoke, and then that black smoke coalesces into what looks like the key, and it just sort of like hovers and floats in a rotating fashion.
Is it the actual key or an illusion of the key?
You are guessing that it is an illusion of the key. A creature like this most likely would not show you the real thing if they did have it, based off of the principle that it knows that if you kill it, then it would just drop the thing, and then job's done. It is smart.
What are your
Well,
names?
Well, hold on a minute. What you just showed us was not the key, but an illusion of the key. I was here ready to offer its weight in gold. For I am sure that that key is not gold. But I can't weigh an illusion.
And it like squints its eyes, or it seems to like you can tell like it is like looking at you in a scrutinizing kind of way.
An inabyssal? Or is this not to your liking?
Three times. The weight of the key 3 times over.
And that's hardly fair.
There are 3 of you looking to trade.
But you already said one of us is worthless.
Then perhaps you will help him find worth.
Show me the key so I can make an accurate assessment.
On one condition. What are your names?
No.
And it seems to sit back in its chair.
I have made you an offer. You have made a counter offer. I would like to assess that.
And Roll a persuasion check.
I would like to use my forceful presence.
Hell yeah.
20.
20. Okay. And
Modded.
the creature... If it had been another natural, I feel like your reaction would have been a lot different. And the creature sort of puts a hand, like one of its large fingers, onto its chin, that it just rests there. And it makes a circle, just a lazy circle with its hand in front of it. And as it does, there is a similar circle that is drawn upon the ground. And from what looks like a place of pure shadow, you see rising up on a small pedestal, like a lazy Susan kind of thing, there is the key. And there is a barrier around it. That as soon as it reaches its point, the barrier dissipates. And it says, "There is your key."
I would like to approach the key and pick it up.
You do so. And the creature just sort of like steeples its long pointed fingers together and then looks towards you.
If I had to estimate how many gold coins this thing weighs,
You are guessing that it weighs roughly 15 pounds.
ooh, that's a big boy.
It's a large key for a very, very large creature. How much does a gold piece weigh?
Looking it up. A standard gold coin weighs about a third of an ounce, so 50 coins weigh a pound. So if 50 weigh a pound, this is about 15 pounds.
$50 times 15.
50 times 15, and then he's offering times 3.
75? 100?
750 for its weight in gold.
2,250.
Mm-hmm.
Math.
Okay. Twice, but no more.
Twice, and you will leave me here. I do not wish to cause harm, to cause pain and suffering like my mindless brethren.
You are causing me pain and suffering right now.
But that is the
Ow,
end
ow.
of the deal.
I will pull out of the bag of holding my closest estimate of 1,500 pieces of gold.
Okay.
I will place it on the ground in front of me.
Okay. And you see that the Overlord sort of does a circle with his hand again, and a shadowed scale comes up between the coins, or underneath the coins, and on the other side is what looks like another empty scoop, and it says, "Place the key within."
I do.
And you watch as they begin to balance, and they meet. 1 for 1. And the creature smiles and says, "You may take your key then. Consider our deal done."
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, good doing business with you, dude.
Mm-mm.
No,
Please,
no.
No.
Call me a Sherrick.
Okay. We'll shuffle off after Arjhan.
And it just sort of like gives you like that long goodbye.
I mean, I don't mean to get all up in your shit, but what the fuck was that?
A demon.
Dang.
A demon that acts like a devil. The worst of both worlds.
Yeah, shit. Well, I mean, we got the thing now. Can we activate it?
It will need some repairs.
Who's gonna do that?
I can call Bridget.
Oh,
I can.
okay.
And Ozzy like raises his hand that he can help.
Oh
as
shit, I
well.
forgot you were here. You need to speak up more. You were very quiet.
I'm sorry, there was a thing in there that was awful scary, and
Yeah.
It didn't have a face. I wasn't exactly prepared for that part of it.
Mm.
I'll hand the key back to him.
Okay. And he gives you his thanks, and together the three of you are going back to the ossuary.
Yep.
Okay. So as the three of you head back to the ossuary, Cori is in the process of praying to no one in particular, definitely not Shar, just trying to figure out, how to use Shar's powers without like really like giving Shar the credit for it. And Caelum, you said that you had just wandered off to be alone, to have a little bit of quiet time after the events that have transpired today. I think that is a good point to go to our break for the evening. We are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon! We're back!
Because my heart is in Ohio. That's all I had.
Ohio's fake. But you want to know it's not fake? My love and appreciation for everyone at this virtual table.
Oh,
Thank you all for being here.
bitch.
I love you guys.
Bitch, you turned it around.
Yeah, what's that about, huh?
I don't want to give you ideas, but one time you should just reverse it and do something instead of
That's the big brain play. That's the stonks moment of our campaign.
Not to
Every
give
time-
you ideas.
Every time we come back from break during Rime of the Frost Maiden, I'm scared to death because like there's something inside me that just like knows to expect something, and I'm all like, it's fine, nothing's gonna happen, and then sometimes it does.
Every once in a while. It's usually an advert. That's
This
about
isn't
it.
us giving you ideas. But man, we are at the bottom of the barrel for these.
It's only been like 140 some odd games
Yeah,
that we've
yeah.
played. Like the fact that it's gone on this long is very surprising to me. But you want to know what's not surprising?
We're just gonna start getting really avant-garde. Okay, you know what's not surprising?
What's the deal with
Considering the
airplane
goddamn
food?
game.
Yeah, so we are back to the present. Arjhan, you and Gwen are on your way with a key to possibly activate a giant Warforged Colossus named Slayer. Cori, you are having an aside in your nice little garden that you have formed to yourself. And Caelum, you said that you went off by yourself. What does that entail, my dear friend?
Finds a nice roof, centers himself, sits down, crisscross applesauce, and he will use ascending to try and reach out to Amaris.
Okay. Roll that D100.
91.
91. That's good. The message does not get missent.
Who the fuck is this? Amaris, it's Caelum. Are you okay? I'm coming for you soon. Sit tight.
And the response that you get back is, I'm fine. It's dark. And not in the shield way. I trust you.
He's gonna send a message to Oliviette using sending. It's Caelum. Shit's gone south here. Could you speak with Elistray? She might be in trouble.
Caelum, where is here? Did you see the moon last night? What's going on? I will do my best. Olivia.
5th level spell slot sending. As succinctly as possible. Kyuss, Lord of Worms, tried to invade our plane using moon as portal. We're in Vascor, right?
Yep.
Currently in Vascor. And that's 21.
Should I make my way there? I will let you know what the goddess says.
Touches the sending token that he has for everyone. Hey, Olivia is asking if she should come by to inform us of what's happening to Elistray.
Can she get here quickly?
Yes, over. Not to Arjhan's question, to Caelum's question. Over.
Imagine like you keep like, but really like it's okay if like it just keeps going until the message gets cut off.
So, Arjhan, what about this big ass?
There's a noted silence from Cori's end of the line.
I'm sorry, I just picture Gwen not understanding how to turn it off. So, like, it just goes until she's done talking 25 words.
I want to say that, like, we see the entire conversation from Cori's perspective. She's just sitting there with, like, her eyes closed, trying to commune with nature. And there's just, like, loud walkie-talkie noise coming from her badge.
I think it's one of Gwen's friends. No, I don't think they're together.
Still one of the best things that's happened this campaign.
Final spell slot. It's Olivia.
Screaming.
Would you be able to get here? Do you need me to pick you up?
It would take 10 days from where I am. If you pick me up, could you bring my ship? I sort of need it.
I have an 8th level spell slot. To use for this message, but I'm going to contact her in the morning.
I was waiting for you to be like, I'm out of spells again.
I have a sending stone.
Could use your sending stone.
Go use my sending stone. I gave it to you for this very purpose.
Pulls out sending stone. Boop. Out of spell slots. Could not bring your ship. Will wait the 10-day.
And the response that you get is it confirms like an okay. Just okay. That's all right as well.
Oh no.
I will see you in 10 days.
Caelum thinks nothing's wrong with this, but RJ thinks everything's wrong with this. Cool.
Well, you did just use her
Cori's
ex's
yes,
phone.
Yes, I know. I used your burner phone to call your ex. Caelum's
This
gonna
is great.
feather fall down.
Okay.
And he's going to find a place where there is a majority of people. And he's going to cast Magnificent Mansion using an 8th level spell slot.
Oh, shit.
For 24 hours, there is a portal there, and anyone who enters it will be fed up to 100 people.
Yeah.
Nice.
What does your mansion look like? Like, what's the aesthetic of your mansion?
It's not quite a mansion, but more of a kind of like a log house, but it keeps going.
I love it. I know I'm frowning as a real person because that's so spooky, but I love it. Yeah, your magnificent log cabin is able to fire off without a hitch. Place that would be best used for it would probably be near the med mage's tent, as feeding your medics and making sure that they are well taken care of on top of the people that they are taking care of. Seems like a good call. So yeah, you are able to do this thing. Do you let your party know that you have this magnificent mansion summoned?
With what spell slots?
I don't know. Maybe use your people voice. Like, find them and be like, hey, I summoned this thing.
You've got a walkie-talkie.
It only works once.
Oh, ever?
It works once per day.
Oh. I mean, I guess I knew. Not ever.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Levi has described it as Caelum's Curious Cabin.
Oh, no!
Meets Lydia's tiny hut.
I love it. Then back with the mechanical crew, Arjhan, you and Gwen are able to get back to the ossuary, clearing off some of the rubble. Are you looking to turn on the construct, or are you just like, we have the key, turn it on later?
My assumption was that we gave the key to Ozzy.
Okay. He does have the key. He's just like deferring to you
Oh.
at this
mean, do you-
point. You just did a deal with a devil to get like a weird demon thing to get this for him. So
A
like
devil, a devil.
A
fiendish
Demon.
creature.
Yeah.
I mean, should we turn it on? I mean,
Do we need it right now?
we need it to be ready.
Well, I mean, maybe we should just like check to make sure that it works, and will listen to us.
And, Ozzy says, or like he acknowledges that this is a thing that probably should be done. However, he would like to run some diagnostics on it first, in case any part of its directorial acceptance, like drives were injured in the city falling on top of it. He doesn't want it to just go berserk and start like crushing through everything.
Yeah, that seems like a great thing to check on, and maybe we should do this in the morning whenever some of us are a bit less tapped out.
Yeah, he will, he agrees. And that he is actually going to hand the key to you, Arjhan. And he will say, he's basically just going to ask for you to hold on to it in the meantime. Mostly because he sees that you have that big crossbow on your back. Your friend Gwen jumped off of a 350-foot fall and came out okay. And he's worried about falling rocks. So as far as he's aware, you two are best to hold on to it until things sort of level out, for the best on his end of things anyways.
Put it in the bag.
Into the bag. So entering into a long rest. Unless there's anything that anyone wants to do beforehand, I would say that after a period of time, Arjhan, you and Gwen end up finding out about Caelum's curious cabin, and if you would like, can spend your evening within the cabin itself. Cori, same thing. It's actually kind of the talk of the med camp right now is that there was a wizard who's helping out quite a lot, actually, and like when you find out who it is of no surprise. Caelum's never made a mansion before. That's a new one, but you know, he's been doing a lot of crazy new things lately, so really it's hard to put it past him at this point. But is there anything that you all would like to do before a long rest? And are you spending the night in the cabin?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, Arjhan wants to talk to Caelum for a little bit.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey.
So that's one crisis averted for now. What's the current situation about Amaris?
I was able to reach her.
And
I think the Raven Queen is holding her, but she's safe for now. I can't keep doing this, Arjhan.
talk to me.
It feels like every time I try to do something, I botch it. Big time. And it's not only just the times I've gone off and elfed off, it's also the times that I've planned, I've researched. I don't want to sound like a child, but it doesn't feel like things are going my way. And it hasn't for a while.
I understand.
with the Grand Archivist and the Archmage researching into soul severance, I was thinking maybe I use it on myself. Cut out that broken screw up of myself, and we'll get something a little bit better.
Would you like to hear my perspective?
Sure.
It seems to me like most of these spawns of bad luck have always been happening whenever you've tried to do these things on your own. These fantastic plans that you've clearly put a lot of thought into. But very rarely have asked for our help with. Or even really talk to us before you've made a decision. Quite frankly, what you've just told me, I would hate to see you go through with it. And I'd really wish that that's another thing that you would have talked to the rest of us about, because I certainly don't want to lose even part of you.
You know, when we went to Chua the first time and we got all of those magic mishaps out of me, I can still feel them, you know. You never really take out a part of yourself, even if you just destroy everything with magic.
I know you. And I know that I am not going to be able to stop you. But I ask that you let us help you if this is something that you are entirely sure that you want to go through. At least talk to us. I appreciate you telling me this now. I take it you've taken steps to go through with this already.
From what Corvain's notes was saying, depending on what the people believe of me, depends on what comes out. It's strange to explain, but there will be a good half and there will be a bad half.
Based on whose perception?
Everyone's. Not just yours or Gwen's or Cori's, it would also be people like Oliviette, like Alindra Stonemantle, even possibly some random traitor we've come across.
What about others?
I think the same thing would apply.
Others whose perception of the good parts of you or the parts that they can manipulate and use.
You didn't quite mention that. But also, we do need to test the spell.
And you propose to do that on yourself.
I don't exactly know how to bring up the question to the party, hey, would you like me to try something on you? It'll split your soul in two.
Why does it have to be one of us? Why can't it be a squirrel?
I think that'd be a little weird. And inhumane. I think it has something to do with the perception of what others see in you. If all we see is just a squirrel, it might not work. I don't even know the scope of this thing yet. I might not even be able to cast it on my own.
What was that for?
What?
Sorry, D&D Beyond dice rolls. I just saw a 91 pop up.
Oh, that was the sending from earlier.
I thought it popped up. Okay, anyway.
Anyway. That's the thing with magic and the weave. You don't fully comprehend it even after years of study. But
How long do you think it will take to research this?
that is entirely up to the Archmagi. And how quickly the Grand Archivist can pull out some files. Maybe if I throw in my lot with them, it might speed things up. I could try meditating on it.
And this is all so that we can charge headfirst into the Shadowfell and do this on the Queen herself.
If you guys are willing to join me.
Well, my feelings really haven't changed. I am truly hesitant to have this sort of experimental magic be how we confront the Raven Queen. If it was all right with you and everyone else, I would like to speak to her. To ask for Amara's back, and to see if she would consent to this. I don't expect that conversation to end favorably, but I would be some part of me still thinks very highly of the Raven Queen. I would hate to do something I'll regret.
I haven't told you any of the memories that I've seen, have I? In them, the Raven Queen was radiant. She was an elf, and I can feel that Corvain loved her dearly. Something in me says that this version of the Raven Queen that has had the portfolio of dying and death for this long is not what she was supposed to be. It could be better, Arjhan. She could be better. But I agree with you. Try and speak to her first. But I can tell you she's going to try and make a trade, and there is only one thing she wants.
I know better than to enter into deals.
I feel kind of better, actually. Now that I've spoken with you, at least.
Good. Anyway, it's not going to be, well, I still need I guess, to talk with everybody else about my goals, and it wouldn't be tonight anyway, because I still need to clear with my god, but my hope is that there's still some part of her that can be reached. Some part of her that remembers.
There is a part of her, Arjhan. I think Cori has seen it as well, but just sometimes I can see who she used to be, struggling inside her current form. I have some more things to think about, but thanks for the talk.
Almost immediately, I'm going to talk to Cori and Gwen.
Checks. Cori, did you go to the Curious Cabin or did you stay outside?
I think Cori's gonna stay in her special little garden.
Okay.
Immediately, I'm going to talk to Gwen.
Okay. Well, I mean, Gwen could have found Cori.
It's
probably.
I can't imagine it's not obvious at this point. Like there's just like one piece of rubble that is suddenly very overgrown.
Yeah, it's very verdant.
Yeah, Gwen just climbed up there at some point, and as Arjhan approaches, she's like, yeah, no, it's this big fucking metal thing, like, just in the middle, and we're gonna, like, turn it on tomorrow, so that should be fun. Hopefully I get to fight it. Oh, hey, what's up?
Blah, 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 blah. All of what just happened. Talking about the split apart and fight your evil self spell, and Arjhan planning to talk to the Raven Queen about getting Amaris back and potentially getting her consent to use the spell on her if there is a part of her that can be reached.
All right, my immediate question is, why are we meddling with the gods like this again?
Because she has Amaris.
Yeah, I get we can get Amaris back, but like, why are we doing this like magic that we know nothing about?
Because if this works how Caelum and I guess Corvain thought it would, we can restore her to a less shady part of herself. I don't know. Hopefully a part of her that would be able to give up Amaris. I don't want to kill the Raven Queen.
I don't want to kill the Raven Queen either. That is a no-go for me. Like,
So
that's not going to happen.
I think that's a fundamental misunderstanding that we have here. We don't want to kill the Raven Queen. We want to restore her to what she used to be.
How long has she even been like this?
Since the Sundering.
Which was like thousands of years ago?
Yes.
Why haven't the gods done anything? I mean, I'm just wondering why we're meddling in something like this when others haven't who are more powerful than us.
I think you two are putting a lot more faith in the gods than they necessarily deserve.
Which god just flew us in on a dragon to save a civilization? Points to Arjhan.
Well, don't lump them all in together.
I'm just saying.
Before I even attempted to talk to the Raven Queen, it was a long conversation that I was planning to have with my god.
Yeah.
Because I certainly don't want to be punched in the or kicked in the chest by Tiamat.
Right. Probably not as cool. I guess I have many concerns about this, but one of my biggest concerns is this spell. We don't know anything about it, right? And you said that Caelum wanted to test it on himself?
From the sounds of things, he wants to test it on himself before we use it on a goddess.
Is anyone else concerned by that notion that's in his mind?
Of course I'm concerned about that. Particularly, I'm concerned about the reason he wants to test it on himself to begin with. I don't think there's anything wrong with Caelum.
Well, I think that's a conversation that he should have with you. Both of you.
I don't know how much my words are going to be able to help him.
And I don't know how much his words are going to be able to help me.
Well, what are your concerns, Gwen?
But besides what I've already said, meddling with the gods, using a spell that we have no idea what the fuck it does. I'm concerned that Caelum wants to use a spell that he doesn't know how to do on himself to split his soul in two. Like, this is big shit. And not only that, maybe the other gods actually want the Raven Queen like this. Like, if she's been like this for thousands of years and nobody's done anything about it, why is that?
This is what I've told Caelum. That whenever he does these sorts of plans, sorry to speak of him whenever he's not here, that whenever he does these sort of plans, it would be, there's much less opportunity for things to go as bad as they have been if we are all involved in them and are all able to help.
Right.
Or at least figure out what's going on. That's what I want to do. I want to talk to my god. I want to talk to the Raven Queen. I want to see how everybody feels about this.
All right.
And if the conversation with the Raven Queen ends badly, then we're going to get Amaris.
Right. I'm okay with going to get Amaris. I am not okay with meddling in the bigger things. If we figure, like, if this is a mystery and it needs to be solved at the end, I need all of the clues before we can solve the mystery. I can't be given, like, okay, this is what we need, and then, like, you're right. We need to talk about it. We need to figure out everything first before we go into it, because if any of you just come to me and say, hey, I found this gun, I don't know how it works, but I want to shoot someone with it, like, my first thought is not like, yes, that sounds like a good idea. It's where the fuck did you get a gun, and how does it work? Where did the gunpowder come from? You know, all this shit.
I understand where you're coming from, Gwen. There's just one more thing. I thought I could do it without breaking character. I'm sorry. I looked up and I saw Steven and it broke me.
Cori Lumbo.
Just one more thing. The Raven Queen is a fairly new goddess as far as the world is concerned. Everything worked fine before her, and it will work fine long after her. These things have a way of balancing themselves out.
Okay, but again, my people worship her. So avoiding killing her is like one of my big, one of my first things as big things as a chieftain. Can't be like, oh, sorry, killed your god.
Right, no, we're not killing her. We're healing her. Gwen, you haven't seen her.
I kind of saw her. Right?
Yeah, we saw her face from a swarm of very scared. You weren't there. You were there? Okay.
I was in the tent.
We were all there, right?
Okay.
She showed up and she was all like, Cori, our business is done. Which I have a Knights in the Courtyard about. I've already written it down. We'll do that later.
Okay.
I know you've only seen her for a brief moment. I can only describe... She's hurting. Every moment for her is agony. I only want to heal a tortured soul and right a wrong that was done long ago. And she's been waiting for too long for this to happen.
Look, I get that. And I get that's what you want to do. And I'm not going to stop you. Unless you're going to try to kill her, then I'm going to try and stop you. But I'm not going to participate just because you said you guys are going to do it.
Right. You're right. Before we make any moves on this plan, we need to get a shit ton of information.
Right.
We have theories. Well, we have Corvain's theory. We have some assumptions. I want to help do this in a way that isn't going to blow up in anybody's face. Least of all the Raven Queens.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to try to do.
Well, then let's take this one step at a time. What about this ritual that Caelum is considering?
Right now, 2 other magisters are going over the notes and seeing how it can be done. I'm sure they will have more information at the end of this.
Does it bother either of you that Caelum is willing to take the word of a person yes, he was, but also has never met over our opinions. Like, he's just willing to, like, fully jump into this with or without us, sort of thing.
If you can't trust yourself, then who can you trust?
But it's not him. I mean, like, Cori's past lives aren't her. I mean, they are, but, like, they're not the same.
I guess you're right, because I certainly couldn't trust my past life.
Yeah. Tarlane's fucking a dick.
I suppose
I'm
I can't
just-
really say anything about that. Cori's gonna hop down from the platform of the empty statue.
Well, I'm not against getting more information.
Then that's where we
So-
should begin.
Definitely.
That's as far as we'll go for now.
Good. I can try to talk to the Tempest, but I mean, he's never actually talked to me. I would like his opinion if he's willing to give it.
That being said, I've been meditating on ways of acquiring information without the permission of the gods, necessarily.
You're saying that in a way that makes me very concerned.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you seem to be dancing around information.
Sorry, I'll try to be more clear. I am seemingly, for now, inexorably tied to Shah, and I am looking into ways to access her resources without her knowledge.
Leans over to Arjhan. That means she can't be untied from Shar, right?
Inexorable would mean that, yes.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna like sneak in information without her knowing? Or sneak out information without her knowing?
Yes, that's generally what I'm intending to do. Is it night by now?
I would say it's getting pretty close to nightfall. Like, if
All
night
right.
has not arrived already. It's also, like,
If there's
towards the
any
later
amount,
months, like the mid-months of winter, so it is, you know.
if there's any amount of darkness in this grove, before speaking about Shar, Cori would cast daylight.
Yeah. So there is definitely a daylight spell that's up.
You're trying to get secrets from the god secrets secretly.
Is that possible?
It's a good question. I don't know. Seems like we're trying to do a lot of impossible things lately.
I just want to make sure my people are okay and like that the world doesn't end. That's all I want. Seems pretty possible from what we've done.
But yes, just for clarity's sake, it's what's been bouncing around in my head as of late.
And you also didn't want to talk to us about this.
I hadn't thought of it until now.
Thought of the plan, not talking to us about it, right?
The Shah thing.
Solid, okay. As long as we're sharing things. Arjhan, is there anything you want to share with the class while we're...
I was going to talk to my god about talking to another god.
No, I know that
that
already.
would-
I'm just
that
saying
was-
since we're...
That's
We're all
my
getting it
secret
out.
plan
Yeah, right?
that has the greatest potential of backfiring in my face, but
Oh, that is a very big cabin.
oh, you've been like this for
yeah,
a while,
Caelum made
haven't
it.
you?
Huh. Well, if you want to talk to your god, the grove is open to you.
Is it stormy out tonight at all?
It is not. It's not like there is cloud cover, but I wouldn't say like you're getting ready for a torrential downpour.
Do either of you guys know how to like conjure a storm?
No.
What purpose?
I feel like if I get maybe like struck by lightning, it might give me a better connection to my god.
I want to react poorly to that, but then again, I also stood point blank within an ancient dragon's fire.
I can make that happen. But I don't know if that's the best idea, Gwen.
No, I mean like not like what you do on the ground. I mean like actually summon a storm.
I mean, that just seems like zapping you with a lightning bolt, but with extra steps. If it comes
Yeah.
from me, is it really...
Well, I mean he's the god of storms, so like you can't just like throw a lightning bolt at me and it's the same thing.
I mean, but if it's my storm versus his storm...
I guess that's true. All right, I'm gonna go play my flute in the field and see if it helps. Or I guess, and she looks around and she's like, on that pile of rubble.
Good talk, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you for letting us know, Arjhan. And Cori, thank you for letting us know your plan as well.
Of course.
Also, don't, Cori, just make up a plan first before you, like, try to execute it and chat with us before you try and sneak stuff from Shar, who I'm sure already knows that you're trying to sneak stuff from her, because that's how she works, right?
I've learned my lesson too many times. I will always
Roger.
talk to you before acting.
I appreciate that.
The light will last for about an hour. After that, beware. She listens from the shadows.
Oh.
And then a branch, like she's like pushed back a branch to talk to you guys, and then she like lets it swoop in front of her.
Just Homer Simpson into the bushes.
Yeah.
She's gonna go and try and find Caelum.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's Caelum's mansion.
Somewhere. He's not inside of it. He'd probably be outside of it.
All right.
You find him.
What are you doing outside of your cabin?
Chopping
Crisscross.
wood.
Chopping fucking wood. Shirt off.
Shirtless, just
Yeah. Yes, but he's like he has to hit it at least twice before it breaks, and he's got a very small pile going so far.
Caelum has a positive strength. You all forget this. Boy's ripped. Nah, he's trying to meditate right now.
all right. Caelum?
Yeah.
I heard about the ritual.
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific. Which part?
The fact that you want to cast it on yourself.
Right.
What part of you exactly do you think needs removing?
I don't know. Honestly, we'll find out when it works.
Well, I just want you to know that I don't think there's anything wrong with you.
Do you know what Diedrich Whitehall used to call me?
Something very unkind.
Sabrak, dwarvish meaning broken. Sometimes it feels like he's right. Something inside me is broken. There are emotions I should feel when things happen, but they don't happen. There are times when I know something will work, but there's just a bit of doubt, and it doesn't work, and all of a sudden, hey, that's my fault too. I know all of you care. And you all say that there's nothing wrong with me, but deep down I know something is. And until I can shake that, I don't think I can do my best.
All right.
By the way, I was thinking about the soul severance thing. If it does work on me, would you want it used on you?
Why exactly?
Just might break your bond to Shar.
I think that you have a very black and white idea of what is going on inside any given person. It's not just two pieces of a whole, it's a lot more complicated than that. I don't know if I could handle being unraveled again.
That's fair.
But if you find a way to change one's name, that might be something I'd be interested in.
Well, there was one mention when the ritual was used on a ranger, they took up a new name.
Truly.
I could look into it more.
That is one thing. We're supposed to look into things more.
Team meeting?
Perhaps in the morning. They're busy with communing of their own.
Steven, has 4 hours gone by? Could I have taken an elven short rest or long rest?
This is in like hour 2.
Okay.
Yeah. You will have to long rest with everybody else. I do apologize.
That's fine.
I
I would like to paint a picture at the end of a 4-hour long rest.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a light activity. So, Arjhan, you are attempting to commune with Tiamat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it that you are posing as your question to her as part of the prayer?
One crisis averted and a lot of people saved and a lot of people holding you in much higher regard than they did before. But now I need to seek something else, and I think you may have thoughts, ideas, feelings. I need to know. I need to know before I do something rash.
I feel like there was near the place where you were, near the garden, that there would be a ever-burning torch that's sort of just been left as like part of a sconce that has been broken as inside of a building. But you just see that it goes from its standard flaming colors to then showcasing the spectrum of Tiamat's colors, showing that your goddess is listening.
The Raven Queen has one of ours. I need to speak with her. Or I would very much like to speak with her to see if we can get her back. And the only leverage that we have is that we may have found a way to restore her. I just need to know if I'm being foolish.
The response that you get is 5 voices is one. And it says, "Your curiosities are anything but foolish." She was incredibly powerful as a mortal, and even more powerful so as a member of the divine. If you are looking to take back what she has claimed as hers, you must be ready to offer her something, or be willing to take it by force. If it is Amaris, you must be willing to trade something large. Something irreplaceable. For irreplaceable is what the child is to her.
This theorized magic, this potential end to her fracturedness. You don't think that would... You don't think that would be leveraged enough?
Leverage for one, a threat to the other. There is still someone trapped inside. The original queen. Who she was before the Sundering. My guess, our guess, is that she would like her freedom. In the same way, the goddess as she is now would like to be fixed, but in a way that truly removes who she was before so she could embrace all that she is now. So that even she forgets who she was.
happens if either wins?
That is a question that I do not know the answer to. Magic like this has not been seen in over a millennia, nor has it ever been used on one such as her.
But it has been used before.
Correct.
If I go to is there a chance that I can get her to see reason? I don't have the force of will of your other children. But can I make her understand?
To reason with a goddess of two minds when they are not seeing the same picture will be an uphill struggle. That is why many refuse to deal with us. If you have something, whether it be information, a memory, a boon, something she desires more than her own kin, you would be able to reason with her in some aspect.
Thank you for your counsel.
And the flames flare. And
I'm sleepy.
It's been a day. Meanwhile, on a grassy knoll outside of the city, Gwen is playing her flute, doing her heckin' best to contact a god who has, up until this point, only ever responded the once, and it was out of spite. So, Gwen, make a religion check.
Okay. That's a 14.
14?
I'm a -1.
Okay. Yeah, so while you are playing your flute with a 14, as the song stops, you feel like there is almost like the sea is beckoning to you.
The sea? The sea?
Yes,
The water
ocean.
sea?
You know you're maybe roughly about like a 2-hour walk away from the shoreline.
I mean, she ain't got shit else to do. She will, I guess, pack up her bag and start walking.
Yeah. And after about 2 hours or so, you make it to the coastline. Would it be It'd be closer to like 45 minutes, all things considered. Thinking about the geography of where you would be. So after about 45 minutes, you reach this place, and you are at the edge of the ocean, looking out over the sea. And looking down, you see that there's like a protruding series of rocks that extend off of the coastline. They don't go out very far. And as you descend further down, and actually reach these protrusions, you kind of have to hop from rock to rock to rock. It's really not that difficult because you're so fucking strong. Look at all them athletics. Your passive athletics is like what? Like fucking 16 or some bullshit? Probably more than that.
I mean, it's 10.
What? Do you have a
Oh,
plus,
my passive...
you have
what?
a plus 10 to athletics?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a passive athletics of 20. So without having to try and roll for athletics, like jumping from boulder to boulder, no problem. Does not phase you at all. And you manage to get out to this rocky outcropping that the waves are sort of crashing over. And you see this stone structure, maybe about like 5 feet tall. It's not very big, but it just seems to have several charms on it. You can see that there are like seashell charms that have been placed on it. Others are like nice rocks, that sort of thing. But there is, it's almost like there are slight pools that have formed in the rock faces themselves. And you can see that there's coinage and other tokens and other such things that have sort of been placed there. And you feel like looking at this stone pillar, that there is not necessarily a sense of familiarity in that you have seen this place before, but you know that this is almost a holy place. Like,
Okay.
whereas like
just to be
Caelum
clear,
has
this
a
isn't-
temple, Cori
Right.
has like other shrines. Like this seems like it would also be a shrine.
Okay. Out of LB's curiosity, this isn't a shrine to Umberly, right?
You can make a religion check.
Oh God. Okay. Yes, I will do this. That's a 3.
Greens.
This looks like a temple to Tempest. Like looks like one of those things.
Okay, God damn it.
Like there's
yeah.
his symbols are there. There's like some other symbols there too, but like his are
Yeah.
there.
She'll take out her 4 gold from her pockets and put them in the water, I guess,
Okay.
where the other coins seem to be.
All right. And as you do this, you had been asking for storm clouds previously. And as the coins land into this small bowl, it seems like high tide is coming. And high tide is
shit.
coming a little bit quicker than you had initially anticipated. The clouds above do begin to sort of coalesce into a more stormy outlook. And you hear the rumble of thunder off in the distance. And the rest of you in town, where it was a relatively fine-looking night sky, all things considered, start seeing these storm clouds begin to gather off in the distance, maybe about a mile or 2 away from the city. And you also hear that rumble of thunder. That is where we're going to call it for tonight's session. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for the start of a brand new arc for the Four Keeps. Level 16, it's going to be wild. If tonight's rolls have led me to believe anything, I'm having a great time with it. But I always have a great time whenever these people are on the show. Speaking of, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things of my life and sometimes stream with my friends. You can catch me here on Mondays as Caelum Shadowkai Wizard. We're back on GGK. Is it Elegant Magic's week? I'll figure it
I
out.
believe
It's always
so.
an Elegant Magic Weeks.
You've
Oh,
been
yeah,
off
right.
for a month, right?
So, fun fact about GGK, every Thursday now is Elegant Magic's week. We've gone from bi-weekly to weekly. So you can catch me over there as I was about to say Theophilus Wilmont. No, Jarvis Hawk. He just sold out his brother to the Inquisition, who's a werewolf. Saturday is over at GGK again, where we're playing Princess of the Apocalypse. It might be our final episode, actually. Afterwards, we're going to be doing some fun stuff with Mistborn. The RPG. And finally, Sundays, you can catch me over at the Hype Goblins channel, where I play Roland Grandbrook. He's an Asmar now, Sorcerer Cleric. They're about to have a casino heist. DanaeKeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches, where I tweet when I'm live. Sometimes I tweet other things, but I will be live next tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time in the afternoon, not in the morning, playing Dead by Daylight. The new Resident Evil stuff's coming out tomorrow, so we're gonna play some of that. I'm gonna get to be the new guy, Nexus.
Nemesis.
Oh,
Nemesis?
you don't get to play as Big Lady?
No.
Sounds
It's
boring.
it's Leon, Claire, and Nemesis.
Oh, okay.
Leon, Jill.
Leon, sorry.
They did the
So
classic.
I'm probably going to play as Nemesis for a while, try it out, and then play as the survivors. Since I'm gonna get the pack anyways, I might as well. And then I'll be live on GGK with Wings and Tyler, and we're going to have our masks game where everyone's going to the spring formal, and we're all gonna dress up, right, Wings? Yes, we are. And for everything else, check my schedule. Playthings of the Gods on Sunday is amping up. We'll have a special guest next week, which will be Tyler. And he is going to play a very special character. We have 2 people who still need to be claimed by gods, and neither of them know who it is yet. So that's exciting. DanaeKeener.com.
Hoi! I'm Cyber. You can catch me over at twitch.tv/cyberwolf1201, where right now we are playing Minecraft. I don't know how to play Minecraft, and I lost all my progress, so now I'm trying to learn it again. So that's fun. Archives that are on a YouTube. It's not the same YouTube, youtube.com/cyberwolf1201, because I want to do new stuff there. And you can start to kind of see that because I'm doing a little bit of a rebrand everywhere. I mean, not changing my names or anything. It's just we have new art by Artsqueef. I actually did lose my house, but like lost, as in I don't know where it is. But yeah, for RPG stuff, well, first off, Jabron TV every Saturday episode of Pokemon is coming out that I edited, so that's fun. We still have a couple more weeks of that. I still need to edit one more episode, and then something else is going to happen, but that's a surprise. That's a surprise tool that you'll see later, but I edited it all, and it's great. For other RPG stuff, I'm here on Mondays. I also just put another thing on my Patreon. It is a whole bunch of form fillable character sheets from the Urban Shadows 2nd edition quick start rules. Why would I make all that? Why would I make a whole bunch of things for a new game system if I wasn't preparing to run it potentially on a stream? I don't know. Maybe you should check my Twitter for that. It's twitter.com/cyberwolf1201. Maybe I'll have more things to talk about pretty soon. DanaeKeener.com.
And speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter, or at Flailing Wings also on Twitter, which is my shitpost place. You can find my schedule on Twitter, all the things that I'm up to. So check that out, DanaeKeener.com.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, and if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/IndoorAdventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/IndoorAdventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point. And we are also available anywhere audio casts are made available for free. But speaking of things that are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on that Patreon. The link is in the description or in the Twitch chat off to the side, and also in the description link down below. Hey, it's a fun time. Check it out. You also get to hang out with the cast. Astrobetic, I'm so sorry we are doing our sign-offs right as you raided us. Thank you for the raid. That's really kind. Just, man, shoo. Shooey. But yes, we are going to be heading off into that after show. So I'd like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these incredible players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye! Outro button!